Welcome everybody to episode 4. Kale, we got games, baby. The next 5 days, it's just nonstop football. Starting at 4:30 Central tomorrow with Boise State and South Florida. What's your excitement level at right now?
I am super stoked, man. Like I am ready to get a full slate of college football rolling, rocking and rolling, and especially that's a nice little appetizer for the Husker game tomorrow evening. So
You got any plans for a spread tomorrow night, or maybe Saturday with the full slate of games? You got anything planned?
I haven't gotten that far ahead yet, but typically, last week we did queso and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
you said you had wings.
Yeah.
This might be what I'm rocking this week. Or I might go to Hy-Vee and get some of those brats that they do in their meat section.
Yeah.
Those things are fantastic.
I am doing jalapeno poppers.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited for that.
You fry those up pretty good?
Grill them.
Grill them?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so the biggest issue I think both of us will be dealing with will be getting kids to sleep by the time kickoff starts at 8 tomorrow night.
Sure. One thing since we're talking about food, I was staining a deck today, and my buddy Alex, who asked us sent us that email from the last episode. That's who I'm working for today in Omaha. He talked about how Freddy's can do these chili cheese curds, like it's chili cheese.
Yeah.
And I haven't tried them yet, but he swears up and down on them. So
I got Freddy's like a mile away from here.
Yeah, it's probably not too far. You guys probably don't live too far away from each other, honestly. So
yeah, that sounds actually really good.
Yeah, I know. It's
Work might be a little rough Friday. Chili cheese.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, there's
Oh yeah, Friday.
There's gonna be a lot happening. I'm not. Yeah, oh yeah. But yeah, Friday night we got some good games going on. If you have YouTube TV, you might not. If they don't get this contract dispute figured out.
That was supposed to be figured out by 5 o'clock today, I thought.
Yeah. I think I saw I think it was on Will Compton was saying like they'll black out like half of that Georgia Tech Colorado game Friday night, and all of a sudden there'll be some dispute figured out because there ain't no way they're not going to show Ohio State Texas on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah. Someone's trying to wait for the other. It's like a giant game of chicken.
Yeah, and especially with playoff baseball right around the corner, Fox is like the main carrier for that. So they're just looking for some paychecks.
Yeah. YouTube can't I'm guessing YouTube has to be the ones to compromise because you're going to lose a ton of money.
Yeah. Especially the way streaming is going right now.
Mm-hmm.
There's like 90 different streaming platforms.
It's funny because I'm reading about this stuff, and I'm not gonna talk about what product it is, but you know me and what I like to use for.
Oh yeah,
my streaming is that I don't have to worry about YouTube. So
the funniest part about this is you guys have all been trying to get me onto this platform, and my buddy Matt, 55-year-old Matt, calls me up yesterday. He lives down in the Ozarks. He's like, "Hey, what channel is the Nebraska game on tomorrow?" I was like, ESPN. He goes, "Well, I just got this new app and or this new device that allows me I can watch any game." It's the same one you guys got in here. I was like, "Matt, you live on a freaking in the Ozarks. Like, do you have TVs down there?" And sure as shit.
Man, it's the best thing ever. I can't believe you haven't gotten one yet.
Yeah.
This freaking camera, man. I tell you what. It's bad.
In time.
Might just I'm
still hoping on the Josh Pate theory that we're going to get down the road and all of a sudden it's going to be back to like cable where there's just one streaming platform that shows you all the other streams.
Right.
We're back to where we were 20 years ago. So I know we're going to talk a little bit about Texas, Ohio State. I mean,
Mhm.
we probably ought to keep it pretty PG. I don't want to say anything too bad about Ohio State. We might get banned.
Yeah. How about Dave Portnoy getting freaking banned from Columbus?
Yeah, that's.
Incredible.
It'll be interesting to see how it's going to work, considering he's on big noon kickoff.
Well,
So I think I
how
saw
soft
he
do
can
you
do big noon kickoff, but he's not allowed in the stadium.
how soft do you have to be to ban a guy like that, like in your stadium?
Well, Roger
I mean, I get
Goodell
it.
banned him from.
I know he's a Michigan guy, but for God's sakes, like,
But that's all part of rivalries. Like people talk shit about each other.
yeah.
I don't
So
know. I hate it. But let's have some fun. People want to talk. Let them talk.
absolutely.
At the end of the day, I mean, Ohio State. If you want to shut Dave Portnoy up, beat Michigan.
Yeah, and we're gonna get into our Big Ten predictions here after a while tonight too, and so we'll go in depth onto that, how much that game's gonna mean this year too. So
Yeah. Hey, so we're gonna get pretty deep into some line setting into the weekend and our Big Ten and our ACC picks. Do you want to jump into the viewer question real quick to get that one out of the way?
yeah.
All
So
right.
we
So
were
Tim,
asked. Oh
Tim
yeah,
from
go for it.
Buckeye, Iowa, asked, "Would we take the top four teams or the field to win the national title?" The top four teams are Ohio State, Penn State, Texas, and Clemson. And
Yeah.
obviously, in our last episode, we both said we are picking Alabama, but that's picking with our hearts. Do you feel the same when money is on the line? Are you taking the
Yeah.
top four?
Yep. I don't in the way that I select. I'm always selecting based off of any kind of money being on the line. So
Yeah.
I just think there's too much evidence for Kalen DeBoer and Ryan Grubb to not give them a huge benefit of the doubt. The question marks surrounding Texas, question marks surrounding Ohio State, question marks surrounding Penn State with James Franklin winning the big games.
Yeah.
And then obviously Clemson, are they taking a step forward on offense enough?
Yeah.
So it's going to be a great year, as we've stated multiple times. Like, it's wide open, and it's not just the four favorites are not as strong of favorites as what we maybe have had in the past.
And I'm leaning with that too. I'm looking at the field. Sark hasn't given me anything to believe in he's going to win the national title.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with James Franklin.
Mm-hmm.
Ohio State is new OC, new DC, new quarterback, new running back, but they got the best wide receiving group in the country and probably the best DBs in the country. So I feel most nervous about Ohio State and Clemson just because Dabo has a couple titles and he's got Tom Allen now as defensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
So but it goes back to what you said. I mean, Clemson's never really had an issue with defense.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, bring Tom Allen, like that's a big get, but it's also like, do you realize that it's been the offense that's been sputtering in the big game that has held them back? So
yeah, but I'm gonna go with the field as well, even beyond where we think, like how we both are on Alabama. The field is just got so much talent when you look at everyone else. I mean, Notre Dame, Georgia, Oregon. Obviously we took Alabama, LSU. There's so many different teams that I'm not comfortable taking that top four. But it could all be said for nothing. Where as much as we want it to be like 2007, as much unknown as there is right now, it'll probably go chalk.
Right, of course. In the year that should be considered the most wide open year. I mean, if it goes chalk, then chalk this one up to not being as fun of a year as we all anticipated, because nobody likes to see that anyway. Nobody likes going freaking chalk. So
I think it was either Platt or Josh Pate was saying the other day, the last 4 national champions, their quarterback was a first-year starter at that program. But I was trying to remember, did J.J. McCarthy only start 1 year?
Boy, I mean, maybe as a full-time starter from week 1 to week, maybe from week 1, like a full season. Like he may have spot started.
Yeah.
But like being the day 1 starter.
Actually, no, they had that cat that transferred to Iowa, didn't they? That quarterback, and then he tore his ACL or something.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So
I can't remember his name, though.
Yeah. Clearly, he had a huge impact on the game.
But, I mean, if you're transferring to Iowa, you're basically going to college football irrelevancy. So, like, especially as a quarterback, because I couldn't tell you who many Iowa quarterbacks were because they're largely irrelevant in the grand scheme of things. So.
I do like Iowa's quarterback this year, though, with Gronowski. Got to see him play a lot at South Dakota State. He's a dude.
Yeah, he's a dude.
Otherwise, like, the last one that really jumps off is probably Ricky Stanzi when we let him to
Brad Banks.
Brad Banks. You're going way back there.
The only one I could even tell you. So
yeah, well, I can't talk too much shit on Iowa because they have Nebraska's number. We lost to a guy whose tits hung out further than his freaking shoulder pads.
Yeah.
God.
Hey, real quick, I got something for you from last episode.
All right.
Okay, so we were talking about Hakeem Nicks in that game when we were answering Alex's email the other night about our memorable moments. Well, I found that clip of him making that ridiculous behind the back catch.
Oh, nice.
So I'm going to pull that up here, and we're going to watch that real quick. If that.
In the slot. Here's the matchup down here. There he is, Hakeem Nicks. Yates with time throws, and it is caught.
Now it's really on the replay that you get to see this, like the beauty of this, and Sean McDonough, of course.
Sean McDonough makes it.
Yep,
even more.
That's what makes it.
Going to be an incompletion. All of a sudden, he's spinning with the ball. Gets 8 and a first down.
You know, this is one of the better catches that I've seen all year. The ability to take it around your back, and again, showing his run after catch ability. Yates throws the ball behind.
Look at that, way behind him.
I'll go
through the leg.
No, it's not going to fit. So let me go around my back.
Go around the back.
Attaboy, Hakeem. Improvise.
Goodness. A couple of NFL people here at the half. And of course, Nicks is a junior.
From the other side.
Nobody wants to speak on
I mean, he had the thing by the tip of the ball. How was he even hanging on to that?
He has made a favorite.
All I can think of watching this is a Chris Berman.
Yeah.
Well, and again, he's just going to get noticed more.
Yeah, that was
catches like that.
That was incredible.
But while we're at it, I'm going to actually do this one too, because same game and just because of Sean McDonough. So here's the other clip that I thought was fantastic.
1st and 10, North Carolina. For Yates, he's going deep in a double coverage, and it is caught on the deflection. Hakeem Nicks, touchdown!
Nicks had himself a game.
And just pure Sean McDonough announcing. Just listen to the.
And pass for Yates. He's going double coverage, and it is caught on the deflection.
His voice didn't crack there, though, like the Michigan State game.
Right. Touchdown! Yeah.
Oh,
so that's good stuff. Good stuff.
I really enjoy that. So then that was from Monday night, I guess. Now, as we look forward to this weekend, I just want to hit on one more thing before we start talking lines.
Okay.
What the heck was that video by Cincinnati? like they know the game's at Arrowhead Stadium, right? It's not at Kansas Speedway. For those who haven't seen it, go to Cincinnati's Twitter page and look at their hype video for the game tomorrow night or tonight, depending on when you're watching this.
Yeah. Holy smokes, man. Like, that was a poor attempt at trying to beat. I mean, like, if I saw that and I'm a recruit, and this is just using language that the kids like to use these days, that was cringy. Just straight cringy. Like, I'm not going to.
Uniforms are sweet.
The uniforms are great, but
yeah, I love the red helmet and the red jersey. I don't know my Cincinnati football history too well, so I don't know what the JK58 is. Like, first thing that came to mind was like Jason Kelce
is what you said, yeah.
Or Johnny Knoxville.
Yeah. Or just kidding.
Yeah. Jeez. Cincinnati fans, if you want to let us know what JK58 is.
Yeah, why don't you guys chime in here? Why don't you guys figure out a way to find our show? Maybe we'll post our show under that Twitter post of theirs and see if we can get people to, give us shed a little light on what that JK58 is.
So why don't we just let that lead us into the game tomorrow night? Nebraska, 6.5-point favorite against Cincinnati. And I'm going to start off with Sorsby scares the shit out of me.
Rightfully so. He's doesn't get enough credit for how good of a quarterback he is. And, obviously Cincinnati's offense is going to go how Brendan Sorsby goes, right? And he was not he wasn't in the top group of efficiency and that kind of thing in the Big 12 a year ago, but we've also talked mightily and with enough about the quarterbacks in the Big 12, how deep that the league is in terms of talent. So he's included in that group, that we have data on.
Yeah.
And so I think Cincinnati's got to probably lean into his ability to not only throw, but also to run the ball.
Yeah.
Because he is a run threat as well. So
and they run a lot of stretch too. A lot of outside the tackles. So it's going to be.
Yeah, they're going to have to be smart. Nebraska is going to bring a strong defense again. And I think even after losing Ty Robinson and Hutmaker.
Yeah.
Out, but they're going to bring a top unit in. Obviously, they were a top 20 defense a year ago, but Cincinnati's going to have to try to establish a ground game if they think they're going to be able to win this game. Yeah. And like I said, that's probably going to lean on Sorsby's legs a little bit.
Yeah.
He did rush for 450 yards a year ago and 9 touchdowns. So that's, not whopping numbers, but it's enough to be dangerous. So
now defensively, they are led by this Corleone kid this kid looks like an animal, kind of what we talked about with Hutmaker and Robinson last year. The one thing that he has going against him is he will be going against probably the strength of Nebraska's offense with the interior line. So that should bode well, but I'm not taking this game lightly. It's bothering me the amount of Nebraska fans that are just kind of looking past this game like it's a walkover. And I Compton saying that 6.5 isn't enough. He would have put it at 14, and some of our buddies just talking about they're gonna wreck. Yeah, I hope so, but.
So we've had enough dialogue over the Nebraska-Cincinnati game over the course of the offseason, specifically the last month or so in our text groups. And I think the overwhelming consensus is, even though we're all excited for Husker football to take a giant step forward, Cincinnati does pose enough of a threat to thwart the hype, I guess. Yeah. And so that may not mean that Cincinnati's winning the game, and because of Nebraska's sheer passion, the fans, a lot of times that can get in the way of they're looking at it through too heavy of a rose-colored glass.
Yeah.
So I think that even if we do get by, maybe we win by 8, 9, whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe we win by a field goal. I expect Cincinnati to be a much better group than they were a year ago, even.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I think Cincinnati's obviously going to be, it's just one of those games that
They're going to be formidable.
Nervous. You get nervous about because Nebraska is not we have not established ourselves as a program that's just going to go out and dominate week 1 yet. So we are very hopeful. We're hopeful, and rightfully so. Matt Rule's year 3, the rule that goes with Matt Rule, that we're going to take a big jump. He's done it at Temple, did it at Baylor. I mean, that's beating a dead horse at this point, but I don't know. They got to try to force our defense into some mistakes, and try to capitalize on some blown coverages, because it's going to be in week 1, there's going to always be those situations that present themselves.
And we saw last week how poor tackling was. So that's going to be be something I'm going to talk about a little bit later in a different game we're going to talk about. But all that being said, the 6.5, I'm leaning Nebraska to cover that. I'm going to buy into the hype. I thinking somewhere along the lines of like a 28-17 victory.
So with all that said, that we just said, kind of a little bit, just a very quick glimpse of or preview of the game, I'm just going to throw my score prediction out there right now. And even with me being more of a realist, I would hammer Nebraska's line, bet the farm on -6.5. I think it's going to be something like 38-13.
Yeah.
I'm just, as much as I was critical of Nebraska fans right there, I'm just going to freaking go the same mentality right now.
So that will be the game we'll be watching. There's a little precursor game I'll be watching before that. Oklahoma State plays, and they named Haas Henne their starting quarterback, with the caveat that Zane Flores would play. We also saw Colorado, who we're going to talk about next. They named a starting quarterback. So with Caden Salter, they also said that Julian Lewis would play. So still both teams, kind of the old adage, if you have 2 quarterbacks, you have none. But with that being said, why don't we jump into Georgia Tech -4.5 against Colorado tomorrow night in Boulder, or I guess Friday night in Boulder.
I like Georgia Tech at -4. It's well documented what we think of Haynes King. But boy, it's going to just kind of come down to like Colorado. Colorado's defense was actually top 40.
Yeah.
In the a year ago, so they made a ton of ground
they
up.
From most of their offensive line, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
And I know they started a true freshman at left tackle and I believe center. Maybe it was a sophomore center.
And I know that when Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter leave the program, everybody's thinking okay, now what's going to happen?
Yeah.
But there's still 9 other guys that were on a 9-win team, So, or did they win 10 games? Did they beat BYU in the bowl game?
No, I don't think so. I don't remember.
Okay, well, I don't remember, but either way, win 9 games, and
I think they lost a couple other receivers as well.
I think Amarian Miller might be their best receiver coming back, the former Nebraska recruit. Anyway, whatever.
Anyway, that's enough Colorado talk for this podcast. I'm going Georgia Tech to cover 4.5.
Yeah. Yep. Go for it.
The only thing I worry about is altitude. But we kind of talked they had to have flown out probably Tuesday or Wednesday, get themselves acclimated. Obviously, they had to fly out Wednesday, but do you think maybe it was a Tuesday, get themselves acclimated?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, it kind of just depends on what the philosophy is. Like, if they're that nervous about it, obviously, and it's again one of those things that when you're going into Colorado, you have to deal with the altitude.
It's going to be an emotional game too for Colorado with all the Dion stuff going on.
Yeah, I mean, how emotional? I don't
Yeah.
know. Like, it's not like, I mean, the dude hasn't been there that long.
Yeah.
Although I know that the university's tied their image basically to him, but
he could retire tomorrow and his name would be retired on the stadium.
Right. Yeah. Like he's. Yeah, I'm not going to say anything about that. That's ridiculous.
So the other Friday night game, this game I'm so excited for, man. Auburn is favored by 2.5 at Baylor.
Take Baylor. Baylor all the way. And it sucks because I'm excited for Auburn this year, but I obviously picked Baylor to win the Big 12. And so like this is a fantastic game for me to want to be dialed into. So, but I would say, man, I don't know, maybe take Auburn, but I would still lean Baylor. I'm a believer in Baylor on the year.
I'm gonna go Auburn to cover the 2.5. Those are
the easy ones. Those are the easy ones to take the favorites on because it's like, it's just a field goal at the end of the game and you cover.
No, but I don't like to believe in that because I don't want to believe games are just going to come down to field goals. I get it in the NFL, but to me, a 2.5 looks like Vegas saying, well, they're the SEC, so we'll make them the favorite.
That could be. I mean, I think they believe in Jackson Arnold too.
We're not going to make it too big of a favorite because we don't want to, we don't really know a whole lot, but.
Well, Vegas knows, man. Like they should, if they haven't already, and I'm not aware of this, maybe I should do my research, but if they don't have a freaking shirt out that says Vegas knows, like they need to, because they know.
I mean, Nebraska had shirts out that said Bo knows within 5 minutes of him being hired.
Right.
Bo knows defense.
Yeah.
Well, Vegas knows spreads. So, you're Baylor, I'm Auburn, and I'm just the quarterback matchup's what I'm looking forward to in that game.
What a great game. Sawyer Robertson and Jackson Arnold, man.
Yeah.
Like, that's a great QB battle. Kind of like last week with Becht and Avery Johnson.
Yeah. So I'll be excited about that. Do you want to kind of follow the timeline, or do you want to, with the timing of the kickoffs, or do you want to save Texas, Ohio State for the end?
You know what? Let's go chronologically.
All right.
Yep.
Texas, Ohio State.
I am rolling with the Longhorns. There is no way that Julian Sayin is going to be ready for that type of game to start his career. I just don't believe it. There's too many questions. I mean, we saw last year, and I know that they're replacing a lot on defense and all that stuff, but the scheme stays the same. The coaching staffs are, and in that playoff game in the national semifinal a year ago, Jeremiah Smith was a non-factor. So why do you think, what changes that? Just location? No. So I'm going with the Longhorns. I don't want to. It's a reluctant pick because, like I've said before, I'm not really that interested in Texas football. And with Nebraska's current conference that they're in now, Ohio State has become the Texas in the Big Ten. And so, I wish evil on both of those programs usually every year.
So, to answer your question with what's changed, a new offensive coordinator new OC and DC for Ohio State and whole new teams. But I think Brian Hartline is going to find a way to get the ball into Jeremiah Smith's hands and to ease Julian Sayin, screen passes, slants, because as much as Ohio State lost, Texas lost a ton too on defense.
Yep.
So
I just don't see, like, Texas is like, you don't come in preseason rated number 1, even if you lose all that on defense. If you're
but
not
how much
ready
of that
to,
is it's Texas, and how much of that is because of Arch Manning? That's where my question is with Texas. If Arch Manning's not their quarterback, are they number 1?
well, we're talking Vegas odds too, right?
Yeah.
And Vegas has Texas as the top odds, and we just got done saying Vegas knows. So we're not talking about the media polls or the coaches poll. We're talking Vegas has them as the national title favorite. And a lot of that has to do with Arch Manning and the belief that he's going to deliver, and there's probably not that much reason to believe that he's not going to deliver, But I think that, I don't know. I can't see an Ohio State win. I just can't see it. Like, it's very obvious to me that Texas is going to come in here and win this game.
Yep. And I'm going Ohio State because I believe in Ryan
The
Day.
Big Ten.
It's not even the Big Ten SEC thing. It's just I believe in Ryan Day more than I believe in Sarkisian.
Oh man, and I don't know. Like, Ryan Day has kind of figured something out, I think, a little bit here. That, I mean, I wasn't sure how well he would translate to the game after Urban left, and he's obviously done a fine job. They recruited a high level, and a lot of that's honestly Brian Hartline.
Yeah.
He's probably the best recruiter in the country,
and
at least at the wide receiver position.
Yeah. I will say I see it being a close win for Ohio State or a blowout by Texas. I don't think it'll be an Ohio State blowout, but I don't think if it's close, it'll be Texas.
Okay. I can roll with that.
But I am going with Ohio State. Then we got Alabama minus 14 against Florida State.
That's not enough.
Florida State?
That's not enough.
Not
enough. Bama's gonna put it. Where's that game at?
Florida State.
Okay, so I mean, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I guess. Alabama's gonna go in there and light up the scoreboard. They're gonna show right away in week 1 that they are an established contender.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people want to just wait and see. Well, they're gonna see this weekend.
Yeah.
And the narrative is going to be like, well, geez, now Florida State they haven't improved and all that stuff. I mean, you can see that spin coming out of that result.
Yeah.
But I think it's only natural to believe that Florida State and the type of program they are, like, they're not going to have another 2-win season or 3-win season. Like, they're going to improve. And I fully believe and expect Florida State to go to a bowl game. So
I'm with you. I think Alabama wins this by like 28. I don't.
Yeah, dude. It. Like, I've never been excited about Alabama football in my entire life.
Yeah.
And I'm actually kind of excited to see what type of product, because partially because it's like when you make a national title pick.
Yeah. And
you don't know because it's preseason. You're just it's the expectation with the Ryan Grubb returning to be next to it, or with DeBoer, that, like, it's exciting to see, like, am I potentially right?
Yeah.
So naturally it kind of builds a little excitement there too.
I love McAfee saying Alabama football, the bear, the goat, the boar.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Obviously, I have my DeBoer fandom, so
yeah.
I don't see. I know Florida State's got new pieces, new OC, new DC. We do expect their defense to be better. We've seen what Tony White can do in our backyard. We saw it with way less athletes than what Florida State has.
Yep.
But it's Alabama. It's
Alabama. Like, you're not going to see those improvements, especially when we think that Alabama is going to take the big step forward too. Like, Florida State may come out of this game thinking like, oh my gosh, like, if you're a fan that doesn't understand the trajectory of both programs, like, you could be it's kind of like the Wisconsin thing. You might have a whole be completely better and win less games.
Yeah.
Now Florida State has the luxury of being in the ACC. A lot of winnable games on that schedule, So
Yeah.
They could end up having a pretty solid season again at the end. After this week, and people will be like, oh, okay, they'll have to take their deep breath and be like, oh, thank God, right?
Yeah.
If you're a Florida State fan.
Yeah, I think we've hammered that one home. We're both taking Alabama to cover the 14. Is that like the second game we've agreed on?
Yeah, probably.
I think we were both on Georgia Tech, so that's the third one.
Yeah. Okay, Nebraska, Georgia Tech, Alabama.
Yeah, now I think we're going to have another indifference. Clemson -3 at home against LSU. To me, I am all in on Clemson.
Yeah, I'm rolling Clemson.
Yeah.
I think that's easy. I actually just got done talking to the fan that emailed us the other night about this exact game, how we were kind of looking forward to it, and our disdain for LS, or maybe Brian Kelly plays a little bit. Plays a little bit into why we talk down on LSU, and they might have a better year than what we're actually predicting and all that kind of thing. But like I said, in all these other conferences, there's a lot of things that are equal. And I think the SEC is kind of the same way. You can see LSU go 6-6, and you can see them also win 9 games. So,
yeah.
Or 10 games even. So, but I'm going the Clemson Tigers.
All this shit we've been talking on Brian Kelly, LSU is just going to win the national title now.
Well, who did somebody? No, that was before. I could have swore I heard Colin Cowherd pick LSU to win the Natty.
No,
I don't think
he was on Klatt's show the other day.
Right, and I could be miss.
I know he had him in the playoff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
well, he threw some love to Nebraska
yeah.
On that episode. So
yeah.
Anyway,
which to me that was like, oh shit, Coward's talking Nebraska.
Yeah, if he's talking Nebraska,
in the fake ID conversation with Iowa. Yeah, it's interesting, but so we're both Clemson.
Yeah,
I just can't get Brian Kelly's first game streak out of my head.
I think Clemson's defense is too strong.
Yeah,
I
agree.
This is not Jaden Daniels LSU with dynamic offense. Nussmeier threw for 4,000 yards a year ago, but Malik Neighbors is gone.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just think the Clemson Tiger defense is going to be too tough.
Yeah, I'm with you. The nightcap, Saturday night. I'll be watching this with a giant grin on my face. Utah heading to Los Angeles as a 5.5-point favorite against UCLA and Nico. And I think you made a very good point when we talked about UCLA a couple weeks ago with there's not going to be more joy, fanfare, or anything for UCLA than Saturday night in game 1 when their expectations haven't been crushed and they have a chance. They have Nico.
Mm-hmm.
They might have 5,000 fans there.
I can't believe
for UCLA this year.
I just don't. Yeah, it's going to bring a lot of fanfare with it, obviously. What are your thoughts on Deshaun Foster as a coach?
I really like him.
You do like him?
Yeah.
Okay, so
can't talk to the media worth of crap, but
right. So I think
don't
maybe
care
that's what
about that. I want to see results on the field, and he gets a lot out of his guys.
Oh, if you believe that, then that's fine. I do know that Nico, a lot of people. Oh gosh, this was on the Cowherd show, so you heard this, but Nico, a lot of the storylines when he left Tennessee it was all about money. It was all about money.
Yeah.
And I thought I loved the tidbit that we got from Klatt and Cowherd about Josh Heupel's offense being a half field read where it was wide receiver choice routes on one side, and then the other side, it was like Baylor's Art Briles offense, So, and they equated that to basically that it being too oversimplified and all that stuff. And Nico was really, really kind of figuring it out that he's beyond the simplistic nature of that.
He has NFL aspirations, and that's not going to get him there.
Right. And so, that's kind of an interesting deal. I'm not trying to take the storyline away from UCLA and Nico right now, but I think that's such an interesting thing. And if that gets if that plays any part into Tennessee recruiting, whoa, that's the kind of information that's okay, that's not good. So
I think my favorite line from Coward in that whole thing is, he's talking about the whole money issue, all that, everything. He goes, you want to know why that took off? Who asked Nico's side of the story?
Right.
All we got was Tennessee's side. Right.
And they came out in front of it just right away playing victim.
Yeah. And Nico couldn't protect himself. So,
well, he has the opportunity to show people what he actually can do in a different offense. And like you said, you said you like Deshaun Foster. So, I'm kind of excited for that game too, because there's a lot of things out of Utah that we're kind of looking forward to seeing after their season a year ago being riddled with injury. So,
don't get me wrong. I'm taking Utah to cover 5.5.
Okay.
I'll talk about how much I like Deshaun Foster, but I'm still taking Utah.
Sure. Yeah.
Because Kyle Whittingham's a top 5 coach for me.
Okay. Well, I will also take Utah, but I'm probably a little bit more reluctant.
Okay.
Just because it's Dampier's first start, those things always play. Yeah. This is not going to be a midseason form, Utah. I think their ceiling is much higher than UCLA.
Yeah.
But I think this is one of those deals where UCLA, they could come out and maybe win this game.
Yeah.
What kind of jump does Nico actually give UCLA, So
yeah. I get it. I think we could talk a lot about that in another game, like what you were just hitting on with Dampier. I think we could talk a lot about that in 2 games from now. We'll hit on South Carolina minus 7.5 against Virginia Tech real quick. I don't like it, but I'm gonna go South Carolina.
The hook on that is the thing that scares me, but I'm still gonna go South Carolina as well. Nothing about Virginia Tech football tells me that they're ready to compete at the level that South Carolina did compete at a year ago and is poised to repeat that level from a year ago.
If South Carolina comes out and blows Virginia Tech out, wins a 42-10 game, does that change your opinion, or to you is it's just Virginia Tech? Because I'm leaning towards it's just Virginia Tech. It doesn't change my opinion on South Carolina a whole lot.
Yeah, it doesn't really change my opinion on South Carolina. Maybe slightly. 42-10, that's a pretty big margin. I don't think Virginia Tech's that bad. So, and I think that, but man, they came out, I think they came out a year ago and just laid an egg in the season opener, and so I just need to see Virginia Tech give some sort of a reason to actually be on the positive side of thinking with those guys. Yeah. I'm excited for the opportunity for them because Kyron Drones is a baller, dude. The quarterback. I think he's underrated, not talked about enough. The ability that he has to change a game. I just don't think Virginia Tech utilizes him correctly. I think too many people are going away from quarterback run game to try to protect these guys. And he's another guy that can run the ball. And are you going to utilize it? Because quarterback run really stresses defenses.
Yeah. So we're both going South Carolina, 7 in the hook there. Now here is where I wanted to bring back your Dampier quarterback conversation. Because our next game is Notre Dame minus 2.5 at Miami. My question for you, bringing up Dampier, is Carson Beck going to Miami and how he handles that with a new coach and learning a new system, but he wasn't able to practice in the spring or summer. He just got cleared at the end of July.
Yeah, so I want to know how healthy is he, like, and how did that injury affect his skill sets, if at all, like, I mean, in terms of the healing, is there any residual effects from the injury, I guess is what I'm getting at. Time will tell, obviously, we'll see, but
I think he's like Dampier, though, where he could lose this game, but he's going to be way better as the season progresses.
Who'd you say right there?
Well, just how you were talking about with Dampier, this being his first game and how he'll progress and be way better. It'll be way different where he's at middle end of season compared to Saturday night, but that's how I feel about Carson Beck.
Sure. Yeah. And so like the little deal that came out, and I sent you guys this earlier in the day about how Cam Ward was like carried that Miami team to almost making the playoff because like everybody on the Miami group that was drafted this year got waived or cut or whatever from in preseason. And so like it was just even a bigger deal about how good Cam Ward is. So if that's really the case, then I expect Miami to not be as good again this year. Yeah. And they already struggled defensively, and Notre Dame is going to just come out and assert themselves physically, just like they did to Georgia, just like they did to, oh my gosh, who did they play in the national semifinal?
Penn State.
Yeah. Penn State, and like, in all reality, I mean, they went down and willed themselves into a touchdown right away against Ohio State in that national title game, so it'll be interesting. Obviously, the dynamic of that offense with Notre Dame and Jeremiah Love, how does that change with a new quarterback? I mean, they had to be much more run heavy a year ago because of the skill sets of, oh my gosh. Yes, Riley Leonard. I almost said Will Howard.
Yeah.
But
anyway. I've been leaning Miami all week. Just listening to it from you and Levi and Colin, but when it comes to now when it's time to make a pick, I can't go against Marcus Freeman, Jeremiah Love, that Notre Dame offensive line. I do think this will be a game played in the phone booth, and it'll be over in about 2 hours and 15 minutes. So that'll be
–
I mean, obviously everyone's going to talk about, CJ Carr, first road game, blah, blah, blah. But how hard is it to turn around and hand the ball off to the two running backs they got up there at Notre Dame?
Well, I'm sorry, but like, when was the last time that Miami made their stadium atmosphere be really daunting?
Yeah.
So like
2001.
I do not expect the Miami fans. I expect there to be a healthy amount of Notre Dame fans there, and it's going to be the crowd. Like, that will not be something that's going to play effect in the negative way to CJ Carr.
Yeah. I will be interested to see. I guess I haven't looked at Miami's depth chart. Be curious to see if Shamar Brown, the transfer from North Dakota State, gets much. I mean, I know they got Damian Martinez returning, and he's one that needs to step up because I was expecting.
Did he?
Yeah.
I thought he just played in a preseason game.
Did he? I thought he had one more year. I'm looking it up.
I'm pretty sure Damian Martinez was on an NFL roster. Yeah, in any case, while you're kind of looking that up, I'll Damian Martinez, if he is on that team, on the Miami team, then I would tend to think that plays in Miami's favor a little bit, although he didn't have the year that we expected considering him coming out of Oregon State a year ago. So, what you find in there, big boy?
I'm reading about Fletcher. Yeah, I don't think he's there. So that changes.
Seattle Seahawks
not
practice
there.
squad.
Yeah. So, yeah, that changes. I thought he had one more year because that was what I was going to get into is like I expected so much from him because he was a force at
He was
Oregon
great
State.
at Oregon State. Yeah, he really was.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I'm Notre Dame.
Right now,
Two and a half is
refocused.
not fair.
Yeah. But either way, I have changed my mind from where I was at all week, and I am going to go Notre Dame.
Okay.
So
we're actually in agreement in a lot more games than you thought.
Yeah. The next game we have coming up, and this one, I legitimately have no freaking clue. TCU on the road, 3.5 dog. That might be one where the hook gets you in that game.
Mm-hmm. For our listeners, who are they playing?
North Carolina.
Okay, so that's just such an interesting storyline too because of Bill Belichick. Good Lord, what a crazy thing to even think of as being like. It's still surreal. Is this really happening? And it is obviously, and man, the firepower that TCU is going to have all over the field. And Josh Hoover at the helm. I mean, that's well documented what I feel about Josh Hoover and his abilities at quarterback. But how does Bill Belichick get the 40-plus transfers that he got to come to North Carolina to mesh together, in time for this game? So there's a couple of cool angles that you can watch the game from. I'm just excited to see. I'm excited to see TCU kind of have. I mean, they won 9 games a year ago, so it wasn't like, but they had no publicity a year ago for being a 9-game winner, so I'm excited to see them take a step forward, which I think they will as well.
And North Carolina did announce this week that Gio Lopez will be their starting quarterback. So he brings a running and passing game with him. So
yeah, and
keep going.
You just don't know because you think about what Bill Belichick did in the NFL.
Yeah. I think of Stonewall Jackson back there trying to throw a football. I don't picture a quarterback run game.
Yeah, it's like the statue out in front of Memorial Stadium of Tom Osborne. That's who. I don't even know what a Bill Belichick offense looks like with a running quarterback.
Yeah,
a dual threat guy. So who knows what the heck? So many good storylines, many good things to watch for. It is incredible.
Yep. So where are you going with that 3.5?
TCU.
Yep, I'm with you there. I don't like it though.
I see them winning by. I could see them winning by 10 plus.
Okay. I don't know. I'm not that high just because I do think there's going to be a lot of emotion and fanfare for Belichick's first game. It's a home game, so.
I'm not usually into changing spreads, getting alternate lines and that kind of thing. But if I could buy, I guess if I could lay 7 more points on the spread, I would still take TCU.
Really?
At 10.5, I would be. Obviously with the higher payout.
Yeah.
But I would be yep, I'm definitely still hitting that. I just don't see it meshing for Bill Belichick right away.
Yeah. So I get it. So that's kind of our premier lineup we had going on. Was there any other games that we didn't talk about that kind of caught your eye?
Wisconsin,
18 against Miami of Ohio.
Wisconsin is an 18-point favorite hosting Miami of Ohio. Now, Miami of Ohio is not very good. And I know that because I played with them on NCAA 26.
Yeah, that's what you're basing it off of?
Yep, I'm basing it off of that. And I'm basing it off of the belief that, as we've hammered home this point with Wisconsin being much improved. And I think Vegas, obviously, with this line being set the way it is, they also understand that. So I could see. I mean, I would never bet Wisconsin minus 18.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of points.
Yeah.
But I would, on the flip side of it, I'm not taking Miami of Ohio to hold it under that either. Like I just think that Wisconsin's so improved
From a year
from a year
ago.
ago that they're actually going to score points, at a higher clip than what they did. And so, yeah, just something that I figured since we hammered on what previous episodes, we might as well throw them a bone again today.
Yeah. I mean, Miami of Ohio was 9-5 last year, but I literally couldn't tell you if they have who all they have returning.
Now they have a quarterback. They do have a quarterback
Yeah.
that is a dual threat guy, and he's an athletic dude. I can't recall his name, but I almost want to say he's a transfer. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah.
You might have to talk for a little bit, and I'll just Google that real quick.
So that's where I'm going. I do think Wisconsin will be so much more improved than they were last year. Billy Edwards is going to bring a new energy. It's going to bring – I can't say he's going to bring a whole lot of winning because he's at Maryland, but I do believe he will be a step up for that program. And I'm really excited to see what Fickle can do with him because I do think Fickle's a good coach too. I don't think his decision at offensive coordinator was great with Longo, but
yeah,
that's in the rearview mirror now.
DeQuan Finn is the quarterback for Miami, Ohio, and he is a transfer from Baylor.
Oh, okay.
He's been at Toledo. He's been at Baylor. He's also sixth-year eligible, so he's been around.
Yeah.
He's 6'2", 206. He was career totals at Toledo. He had 7,000 yards passing and 63 passing touchdowns at Toledo, with 1,800 on the ground and 25 rushing touchdowns.
Ooh.
That was from 2019 to 2023. So, I mean, obviously multiple years of playing there.
COVID.
Yeah, right. So I mean, he's accounted for a lot of yards, so I just don't know what weapons Miami of Ohio has around him.
I think they have a decent tight end, but that's literally.
Yeah, and Wisconsin's defense was actually pretty good a year ago, so it's going to be interesting.
Well,
and it's crazy. Okay, look at this. So DeQuan Finn holds several school records at Toledo, but yet has transferred to Baylor and now to Miami, Ohio. Do you ever see that? Do we ever see that type of stuff?
I mean, are you taking DeQuan Finn or Sawyer Robertson?
Well, Sawyer Robertson at Baylor, but I'm
yeah, that's what I mean. I can understand why he left Baylor.
Yeah. He was actually apparently named the starter last year for Baylor until he got hurt.
Oh.
So in 3 games, he threw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns and added 66 on the ground for Baylor.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, there's our Miami.
DeQuan Finn getting a lot of airtime here.
Yeah. Someone's going to tag DeQuan Finn on Twitter and he's like, who the hell are these schmucks from Nebraska?
Yep. Well, I used you on my NCAA 26 dynasty, so that's the only reason I knew he was an athlete.
Hey, he's getting NIL money from that, baby.
That's right.
You're welcome, DeQuan Finn.
Yep.
The one that caught my eye, and I did text you about this earlier. Mississippi State -13 going to Hattiesburg to play Southern Miss. Southern Miss is coming in having lost 6 straight games.
Ooh.
But Southern Miss is not Southern Miss. Take Marshall's team from last year, and that's Southern Miss because the coach left and brought, I think it was something like 62 guys with him. And then he added Blake Anderson, the former Arkansas State head coach, as his offensive coordinator. So I really like those hires. Coach Huff from Marshall. That's who went to Southern Miss. I just don't know if Mississippi State can score 13 points with how bad they were last year.
Yeah,
but I do like Shapen. He's a decent quarterback at Mississippi State, but I'm going with Southern Miss to cover that 13 because I just really like that line. I don't believe in Southern Miss. They got Arizona State coming to town next week. Are they going to be paying attention? Like, to me, this game for Southern Miss is their Super Bowl. It's their in-state. I don't know if it's not a rival, I'm sure, but it is in-state bragging rights. What's that?
I said they're probably treating it that way a little bit because, obviously proximity, they're in the same state. So,
like I said, I'm not taking Southern Miss to win, but I'll take them to cover that 13.
Yeah, I would. I mean, I know we're not technically picking this game.
Yeah.
But I would be inclined to take Mississippi State just because history, in the new era of college football, Mississippi State has largely been a pretty successful program in the SEC, I mean, gosh dang it, they were ranked number 1 at one point under Dak Prescott, I think it was 2014, 13, 15, I don't know. So you go from the top of the top to being just complete dog poo.
Obviously,
the ability to make a jump in Starkville is there.
Yeah.
And if Southern Miss is that bad and the Screaming Eagle, never know how long that how that thing can take you along. Maybe they improve, but I know you have lots of comments about the Screaming Eagle in Southern Miss.
Every first down. Caw!
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, it's a lot. But I do like Jeff Lebby, Mississippi State coach. I don't want him to get a bad rep if he doesn't. Kind of like how Walters, when he went to Purdue. Ryan Walters, he is a good coach. Just kind of a tough situation at Purdue. Jeff Lebby is a good coach. He got placed into a tough – having to replace the Pirate in those circumstances, that's tough.
Yeah. Yeah, so, that's obviously a tough situation to follow up, So.
Yeah. Was there any other ones that you had your eye on or anything?
No, I think we hit all the ones. Actually,
Oregon covering 29.5 against Montana State.
I'm not going to say.
Yes. So those are our picks for this week. You may see on our logo where it says MS MVPs. Sundays, we will select some Main Street MVPs, kind of some guys that stuck out to us Thursday, Friday, Saturday, whatever, just 2 or 3 guys. And that's kind of where we're going with that. We may be getting a new intro. Depends if I can talk this guy over here into doing some of these Snapchat videos he sends me.
We'll see.
That is a work in progress. But
intro and outro are definitely coming.
Side. If you want to get into the prediction side now, do you want to do ACC or Big Ten first?
Let's go ACC.
Okay. You go ahead. Who is your championship game?
So I think, like we've said, we've talked about Clemson. We've talked about Miami. We've talked about Georgia Tech.
Talked about Florida State tonight.
Talked about Florida State. There's not a lot of other people we've talked about in the ACC from a standpoint of being a contender in the conference. And that statement is going to hold true right now as well.
Yeah.
So I'm actually taking Clemson to win the ACC over Georgia Tech. Haynes King's Heisman hopeful campaign stops at the championship game.
Now I'm going with Clemson to win it as well. Except I do have them beating Miami because Miami got a schedule very much like Georgia Tech's, where if it comes down to tiebreakers, I don't know what the ACC tiebreaker is, probably higher rate. That's where I think Miami gets Georgia Tech.
I want to mention one team that I
hope it's not the team I was just going to pick for my dark horse.
Well, if you're picking Louisville, it's not them.
Okay, yeah, I was going Louisville for my dark horse.
Okay, so my dark horse is actually Eli Holstein and the Pitt Panthers.
Yeah.
I think those guys
I really like
they were quietly good a year ago too, and so I only expect him to be taking leaps and bounds, and he's only a flipping sophomore, So Pitt's gonna be there at the end near the top of those standings. It's just gonna come down to schedule and all that kind of stuff too, and how they play in big games. The ACC is I think the ACC is actually more wide open than people think. I mean, Clemson's the heavy favorite.
Yeah,
the heavy favorite, but I think after them, it's like Miami's not. I don't think Miami. Like they're the favorite, but I don't think that's a heavy favorite because then it's Georgia Tech, it's Louisville, it's Pitt. I think it's those. Yeah, those three.
I know North Carolina's getting a little bit of love because of Belichick.
No,
and there's just SMU just quietly sitting in Dallas. They just went to the playoff last year, and no one's talking about them.
So, and nobody should. Kevin Jennings is a great player, but SMU's not. That's a one-time thing. It's not happening again.
If SMU goes back to the playoff, I'll buy an SMU hat.
If SMU goes back to the playoff in 2026. That's what I'm going to ponder that for the next episode. I'm going to come up with something egregious that I will do. Yeah.
You're going to stain a deck for free?
Oh, man. Oh, gosh.
No, I would not.
When Alex he's listening to this episode as soon as it drops, I'm sure. And if he hears that, he's going to be the biggest SMU fan on the
planet. Yeah. So, yeah. So you went Clemson, Georgia Tech. I went Clemson, Miami. How many teams do you think the ACC gets into the playoff?
I hope it's more than one.
I was thinking two.
Just because I hope that I don't like the narrative being pushed out that the Big 12 and the ACC are only getting one team in every year, and everybody else and the G5 gets one, so then you have three, and then the rest are filled with SEC and Big 10. Now, obviously, Notre Dame's in that, so I mean, if you go, I mean that leaves eight spots for the other two conferences. I'm not a fan of that.
I agree.
So I think that there's enough good teams that but that means those ACC schools and the Big 12 schools, they gotta avoid the second loss because you aren't going to get the benefit of the doubt in terms of strength of schedule if you're 10-2. So they need to find a way to be at 11-1 going into or better into their conference title games to maintain having a shot if they don't win those title games. So as they have stated that the loss in a title game does not discredit you out of the playoff.
So, I mean, SMU last year.
Yeah.
So, I hope the Big 12 gets 3.
Yeah,
I mean, that takes away from probably the Big 10, but
I think that the storyline with the playoff, and I don't want to get too crazy into this because this could be an entire episode on itself. Yeah. But the storylines with the playoffs last year, I think personally that Arizona State being able to take Texas to the wire, really showed how strong the other two smaller conferences in terms of toughness, are how they're perceived and how they're perceived and how they should be perceived.
Yeah, we beat it. We beat that like a dead horse with this whole SEC getting their freaking asses kicked in the bowl games. They don't play obviously they're changing it, but their non-con's not that tough. But yet we still reward them and crown them every year as the kings up until the very end.
Right, and I think this is probably the perfect segue into Big Ten predictions because Colin Cowherd did say that the Big Ten, or those guys on that show, Platt, Cowherd, that the Big Ten has overtaken the SEC as the top dog, and that's a testament to, like we said the other night with Indiana, and the changes that a lot of these programs have made to recruiting nationally rather than just a regional footprint.
I did like. Have you gotten to listen to today's episode with Urban Meyer?
I did listen.
How he put the Big Ten has put such a more emphasis on recruiting over developing, and putting.
And maybe that's where I heard that.
Yeah,
not Cowherd.
Yeah, and then putting the emphasis on going after speed.
Yeah,
because and that's where he was hitting on. He's like, go watch Ohio State versus Tennessee. Ohio State ran circles around them.
Yeah.
It's
one of those things. Like, well, now that those speedsters are going to other schools, the SEC is not hoarding all of that speed. So they're really just riding the coattails of the legends of. I mean, Urban said that in that podcast that when he came to the Big Ten, there was a crazy difference between the SEC and the Big Ten at that time, and he even kind of said, and he went about it a little humbly, that they probably had a lot to do with the Big Ten landscape changing while he was at Ohio State, because
I agree,
they elevated themselves and everybody's got to kind of chase them. So, I mean, really, if the Big Ten wants to go down and identify why they've gotten better, probably look no further than Urban Meyer.
Yeah. And why the SEC's kind of gone down, and this is what Josh Pate hit on, is Nick Saban's gone.
Right.
I mean, everyone wants to talk about SEC. How many of those titles are Nick Saban?
Right. So that's a great point. Even his one at LSU.
Yeah. So he's like, you take away Nick Saban and SEC.
All you have left, but even the ones that are not Nick Saban are from his tree, Kirby Smart.
Yep.
So for the most part.
Yeah. I mean, I know there's the one-off with Cam Newton putting the whole team on his back.
But that's a player. That's not Gus Malzahn.
I know, exactly.
So, I mean, look what's Gus Malzahn done since then?
Nothing. So and that's where I was heading towards. Like, they won that title because of Cam. It wasn't because of Malzahn.
Yeah, and here, okay, gosh, I don't want to always regurgitate the Oregon thing, but they won it in a year where, like, Oregon, I would argue that Oregon's put on the field a lot more quality teams in the last 10 years than what they had in 2010, and that was a close game.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's irrelevant, but.
So that leads us into Big Ten picks.
I told you this was going to be a game time decision for me, and I'm still sitting here being like, don't ask the question.
I'll go first then.
Don't ask the question because
I'll go first.
I still don't know which way I want to go fully.
I hate it. I hate with what I'm going with. I'm sticking with Penn State versus Ohio State.
Oh, chalky boy.
Yeah, you've seen the spreadsheet where I've built out the schedules, and I have a team with a better record than Ohio State. I just can't pull the trigger and put them in there. They actually have the same record as Ohio State, but
is it the team on your head?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It definitely is.
Okay. So I'm
wearing a Washington hat for people that are listening on.
Oh, yes. The old Washington Huskies.
When I broke it down, I had Washington with the same record as Ohio State, but I don't believe in it enough that I get a little biased towards Washington. So I'm sticking with Penn State versus Ohio State.
Yeah. Okay.
And Penn State winning. There you go, James Franklin. You won a big game.
I'm on the verge of laughing.
Yeah.
Because I think I'm trying to like hide my smile. I'm like, I think Penn State.
Oregon and Indiana.
It's gonna be Penn State. Penn State's gonna win it, but they're gonna win it in a rematch, a game that's played earlier in the year.
Is it by chance a night game in a Penn State whiteout earlier in the year on NBC?
I'm gonna say the old Huskers make the Big Ten title game and lose to Penn State to be their second loss on the year.
Nebraska 11-1.
Yep.
Going into that.
Yep.
Drinking the Roulade.
And I have never, ever.
No.
I have never been this like. I mean,
I think you've been hanging around somebody too much this week.
Oh man, dude, I don't know. Hanging down in central Nebraska really got that freaking got me drinking the Kool-Aid and all that kind of stuff. But
I mean, full disclosure, I'm going Nebraska 8-4 this year.
Okay.
I want to believe they'll be better. I want to believe in the whole rule year 3 stuff, but
hey,
I
man,
can't give the past decade of losing random ass games because we don't know how to close out a game out of my head.
Here's what I think. And this is completely like you're not even going to be prepared for that. I think that Mark Manning set the tone for the football team after their performance at the NCAA tournament where they brought home a runner-up finish at the national tournament in wrestling. Coach Rule has been on record, not necessarily toward wrestling, but he said it during basketball season, like, okay, these guys are doing a great job. Now it's our turn.
Yeah.
Right? He said that
he said those exact
2 years ago. Yeah. So it's our turn to freaking make Husker Nation proud. And it's long documented that, Husker fans have just been patient. We've been patient. It's hard waiting, but I think this is the year that they do it. Like some of that CBS confidential conversation or whatever they released the other day, the fact that the players are talking about winning a national title and that kind of stuff and having that be like a possibility tells me that the right belief system is in place. And that's a big, big deal too.
Man.
So, can you even imagine? I mean, I just pulled the rug out from under.
I mean,
just like
if you look at what's happened since Mark Manning, softball knocks out the number 6 national seed LSU and goes to super regionals. Baseball wins the Big Ten championship and goes to regionals. Track and field, granted they lost their best athlete. They won the outdoor championship for Big Ten, and then Till Steinforth got hurt at nationals and didn't do so hot. So I think Nebraska's still top 10.
Storyline. What a great storyline, though, because Tom Osborne has to be on his last few legs.
Yeah.
So it's like the Huskers got to come back. They're coming back for him.
You already know my opinion on that.
He's going to have to ride off into the sunset when the Huskers are on the uptrend, not when they're on the down low.
Yeah.
So
I've been well documented. I've tweeted it out. I've put it on social media. I don't believe Nebraska will win until he's gone because of that cloud hanging over the program.
I think he's gonna be able to see it one last time. And
it's either that or they sacrifice Lil Red.
Gosh. Oh gosh.
Okay, we got off topic there.
Now we're just getting silly.
Yeah. I try to avoid. I don't want to talk Nebraska a whole lot on here. There's 9 million Nebraska podcasts already. But
hey, man, you still. I mean, look at what I'm wearing.
I know.
Look at the hat.
I know.
Who would have thought? Like me of all people, I've
You.
been like I've been the most critical of this program in the last 10 years.
Yeah, I know. Nope, I'm sticking Penn State, Ohio State, dark horse Washington.
I might put a flagpole in my front yard tomorrow and just put that Husker flag up and just be like, and everybody's going to drive by and be like, what the heck? He's not a Husker.
Yeah, we're rocking the Nebraska volleyball flag currently.
Nice.
So,
all right.
I don't have a whole lot more. I think I'm still trying to wrap my head around that. I think that's a good place to end.
You bet.
We'll be back Monday morning for you guys. We'll record Sunday night, but we'll have our MVPs of the week, go over some games, see if there's any more headlines.
I'm going to ask you a question that you get to ponder, and this is completely not even – I guess it could technically be sports. Okay. So just because I freaking find this thing so hilarious, I've been using ChatGPT doing these hypothetical matchups with fights.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Don't worry. I get every one of them.
So, like, here's my question. Does 25 Ric Flairs beat Mike Tyson and Lennox Lewis in a street fight?
Okay.
So you got to think about that.
All right. Yeah, I don't have anything else to add. I'm not going to bring up the biggest topic of the week, according to media. So I think this is a good place to end. No.
I forgot.
No, I'm
Taylor
hitting
Swift
end.
and Kelsey, congratulations.
No. Bye.